From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update. Your weekend weather update is made possible by Caltrans District 2. Happy holidays from Weather NorCal and our sponsors. Have a wonderful holiday season.
Hey folks, good afternoon. Hope you've had a nice day so far. Talking about widespread upper 50s here in the valley, right there in the 60s too, as far south as Chico down to Willows, but I think most of us in the warmer areas will be in the upper 50s. Along the coast, we're going to be right there near 60 as well, but for the rest of us, lower 50s and 40s is the story, especially heading those upper elevation areas. So we're definitely still cool as far as today is concerned. And as we head over the next several hours, still with that kind of scattered shower activity actually going to be increasing over the next several hours, especially through tonight here after sunset and into the early hours tomorrow morning. Another push of moisture coming on in here. Now, snow levels will be dropping a little bit as we head through tomorrow, especially as this moves through around sunrise. So this big batch of moisture, round two, if you will, pushes east through the morning. Notice that widespread rain, light to moderate rainfall, some heavier areas at times. And notice us cooling down. You can tell we're cooling down because you start seeing a lot more of that blue on this radar, which progs that as snow. So we're going to be dropping down about 4,000, 4,500 feet for the snow levels here, but it's in and out pretty quickly. So for Sunday evening, notice after sunset, not a whole lot going on, right? I mean, it speaks for itself. We only have a few little tiny little stuff, just kind of irrelevant, right? This stuff does not matter that much. As far as the widespread stuff is concerned, we're pretty much done with that for the weekend here. In fact, this last weekend of 2024, right? Heading into the first of the week here, so through Monday, looking pretty good. And again, this little isolated stuff, that's just not a big deal. Now, I also do want to mention, through tomorrow, as that stuff's moving into the coast, you might see a few thunderstorms pop up here in Del Norte County, portions of Humboldt County, maybe as far east as western Siskiyou County, but really don't think those will be particularly widespread. I think for most of us, it's just going to be that rainfall. And again, snow levels dropping down 4,500 to 4,000 feet at times. Rest of the week looks pretty much all right, but a little moisture does creep along the coast. Notice you see what I'm talking about there through Tuesday, Wednesday, but it just doesn't push that far in, east, right? Trinity County out to I-5 and even further east, you're kind of on the fritz. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal there. And even along the coast, chance of showers, yeah, but I really don't think it's going to be a huge washout. So I do think this is going to be a lesser precipitation event as opposed to, say, what we're seeing right now, right? Now, maybe next weekend, towards the end of the week, next weekend, we might see a little more moisture coming in, but that's a ways out, and models can and will change in that time. Overall, the first week of 2025 does look to be relatively drier for this time of year here. That's what this brown indicates here across the North State. So let's go county by county, city by city, see what we can expect here out of our next 7 days. And I was mentioning this earlier. Let's start with Trinity County, right? I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal. Those showers on Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, some of that moisture might creep that far east over the next couple of days. We might make some changes to the forecast. I think the week otherwise, though, is going to be fine. By the way, tomorrow, like I was talking about, snow levels, I'd say about 4,500 feet or so, maybe down to 4,000 feet locally at times in some areas, but out here in Trinity County, probably not. Highs, upper 40s, lower 50s down there where most of us live, right? Now, out here along the coast, you can kind of see better what I was talking about with those chances scattered throughout the week, but notice they're just chances. We're not talking anything hugely widespread, but, you might be able to put a bet on that. I think you could see some moisture there. Widespread mid to upper 50s throughout the week. Not a lot of variation in this respect as far as temperature variations are concerned here over the next several days. Tomorrow, for example, we'll be in the mid 50s, maybe right there in the upper 50s at times, but I think the chances are less for 60s as opposed to, say, today where we're seeing a couple of those pop up. Same for the further northern portions of the valley. I say the valley, I haven't gotten there yet. Further northern portions of the coast, with those temperatures in the 50s for now. Maybe even flirting with 60 by Thursday, Friday. Yeah, I do think that's possible. And again, you see some moisture creeping in here, but you start getting a little further inland there and you just don't see quite as much of it. So I think that's mainly going to be a coastal thing, right? Siskiyou County, Mount Shasta City, I think you'll be fine for the week. Cooling down, though, over the next couple of days. That's kind of why the snow levels are dropping down about 4,000 feet, because we get a little bit of an intrusion of cold air here, but we'll be back near 50 by Thursday. So we definitely kind of go a little up and a little down over the next 7 days. The best way to put it. Now, this far east, Modoc County, you're probably not going to see any moisture from this, right? You saw that on Mount Shasta City, too. But I think we'll be fine out here as well. Those 30s turn into 40s as we head through that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday time frame. So you can kind of see the sense of this trend here where we temporarily go down, then we go back up as far as temperatures are concerned. So through the first half of the week, then the end of the week. In fact, it's going to be a split week, too. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Wednesday's the first day of 2025. So hump day, perfectly cutting off our week right in the middle and ending our year, right? So Eastern Mountains, looks like we're going to be in the mid 40s here. climbing slowly back to the mid-40s before we get to 30. So, in between here, right? That's what I'm talking about. See what I mean? Down, up, right? Those temperatures are going to be a little variable out here. Snow levels, I'd say about 4,000 or 5,000 feet, maybe 4,500 to 5,000 feet this far east here as we head through tomorrow, but I don't expect that moisture to make it so far east as to be an Eastern Mountains issue in that midweek time frame where you saw that kind of push into the, maybe Eastern Humboldt County, Western Trinity County areas at best. Just don't think that's going to be that big of a deal. Same for the valley, right? Looks like widespread upper 50s, even near 60 for the mid to end week there is going to be in store here. Some of us down south tomorrow as well, probably going to be in the 60s too. Hamilton City down to Chico, down to Orville over by the dam as well. I think you're probably going to be right there near 60. Willows, you're always one of the best out there, right, as far as temperatures are concerned. Probably might even be 62, 63, 64. Would not be too surprised. If you have a personal weather station down there, let us know what those highs are. We'll have to get in touch, see what that's all about. Now, Lakehead, down to Red Bluff, we'll call it about upper 50s out here. Same for the rest of the week. Not a lot of variation. Notice here on the highs, maybe 1 to 2 degrees of variation. Now, of course, locally, you'll get some smaller pockets of warmer and cooler air, but, I really do think it's a pretty consistent pattern, all things considered, for this time of year across the North State.